Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Ripty here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about my first time going to a high school party, like where there's drinking and all that. I'm going to tell you guys about my first time going to one of those, and it was when I was a freshman in high school. I went there with my friend Zach, and like at first I didn't want to go, but he's like, "Oh, come on, dude, it's not as bad as you think it is, you know." Cops don't always show up to all of them, because that was my fear, because I don't know why, I don't like cops, I don't like being around them, I don't like talking to them, I don't like doing nothing with them, okay? Um, so anyway, he finally pressured me into going, so we get to this party, dude, and we had to sneak out though, and that was successful. Um, but so we get out there, and I'm like, oh man, I was like, and I started thinking about more and more and more. I was like, you know what, this could probably be fun, you know. It's probably not as bad as I'm thinking it is. Cops probably won't shun, you know. Cops probably won't come. I might be in the clear here. So I was like, all right, so let's just do it, okay? Let's just go to this party. Let's have fun. Let's just have a good time. Let's just say forget, everything. Let's just have a good time. Okay. So by the time we show up to this party, it's 11:30, and we're having fun, I was like, dude, man, do you guys do this all the time? They're like, yeah. I was like, how come you guys never asked me to come? Because they're like, because we knew Zach would, like, how come you guys just invite me? He's like, they're like, because it was my friend too, but Zach said it was only his friend, but Zach didn't know I was his friend too. But, it was my friend Jonathan. And Jonathan was like, well, we all, like, everybody, all, like, the squad was there too. I was like, how come y'all didn't invite me? Because my friend Jonathan was one throwing it. I was like, how come you invite me? He's like, because I knew you were going to come. So I was like, well, Zach got me to go. How come he didn't try? Because he's like, it tells me to think about it. Would you would have came if one of us tried to convince you? I was like, no, because Zach's my best friend. I'll do anything with him. So, well, he's not really my best friend anymore. I'll tell you, that's a different story. I'll tell you guys about later. But that'll probably be tomorrow's video. I'll tell you guys about that. But like we were talking, me and my friend Zach were talking, and finally he just, okay. I'll tell you guys about that later. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, so finally we show up to this party, and so we show up to this party, and it's already crazy. Like there's already a bunch of people there. There's probably about not hundreds, but there was probably maybe 120 people there, and this party was just going. There was drinks everywhere. There was people making out on couches. There were there was beer everywhere. There was beer cans. I'm like, whoa! And it's like he's like, yeah, this is what a party looks like. They get going quick and fast. The moment people get there, they bust out the bottles and everything. So I was like, whoa! So people don't waste no time partying. They're like, no. So because this was my very first time, and they're like, and then so I see this girl, and I started talking to her. My friend Zach's like, I was looking at her when we first got there. My friend Zach's like, ooh, do you like her? I was like, yeah, kind of. She's like, well, she's probably gonna like you back. I'm like, because I'm not the greatest looking guy. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, I'm like so sexy and all that, and then do a face reveal and I look ugly as shit. That's not me, okay? I'm a ginger. I have afro herring. Like, I look like you'd be like, what the fuck, is what you'd think when you saw me. Like, how is this dude any part black? But then if you look at my facial features, I do look somewhat black. And then people be like, oh yeah, and then and so me and this girl, we're talking, and I'm actually like honestly really starting to fall for her. Like me and her get talking and talking, and she's really really pretty and really attractive. So me and her start talking, drunk. So then finally she go, and it's my friend Jonathan's sister, but she's 17, and at the time she was 16, and I was 14. It was my first time. I already knew she liked me, but she told me she wouldn't date me because I was too young. But she says that means but that didn't mean I wouldn't do anything with you. And me being the dumb 14-year-old I was, didn't know that was like a move to like try to get with her or something like that. Me being the dumb 14-year-old I was. And plus, honestly, at that time, I was honestly more into gaming and learning how to trick shot. That was like, actually, I wasn't learning how to trick shot, but I was trying to do claw. I was more into gaming, and it took me months to learn how to do claw, and I still can't learn it. I don't know why, it's just hard for me, but back to the subject. I was more into gaming. I was more into this. I was more into that. So I was like, you know what? I don't got time for girls. So I didn't really want to try anything. But finally I'm at this party and we're going, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hook up with this girl. So, and it was real awkward. I had a hard time asking her. My friend Zach could just go, oh, ask her, ask her. So I was asking my friend Jonathan how he felt about it. He's like, dude, I don't care. It's my sister. I'm not tripping. So finally I work up the balls to go to ask her, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm ready. Let's do this. I look up to her, I see her face, and I backed out again, and I kept doing that. They're like, you know what? Just, and then finally, I was like, you know what? You want to go up in the room, let's go to like your room or something, and where it's more quiet, and let's talk. And she's like, all right. And I was like, whoa, so she actually went with it, and both being drunk, she knew what that meant. So, well, I didn't really mean it like that. Well, I did, but didn't. So when we get up to her room, I'm like all nervous, and I'm like, oh man, what should I do? But then like she walks in after me, like I walked in first. Well, actually, she walked in first, but she like sat in front of the door, like I'd like where I don't know how to explain it. Like you walk in the room and she opened the door and then had her hand on the knob and kept it on the knob and like stood there and then like signaled me to come in. Like she's like, come in. So I did, and so I go in a room and she comes in, and then she shuts the door then she walks in and she shuts the door behind her, and then she goes, and then she turns around and just starts taking her clothes off. I'm like, wait, what are you doing, She's like, well, don't you want to have sex? I was like, yeah, kinda. Well, she's like, all right, let's do it then. I was so surprised. Like, I was like, ooh. So, me being drunk and stupid, I hurried and pulled off my clothes and got ready as fast as I could. And she's like, whoa, is this your first time? And I start to kiss her, and I'm like, it's not my first kiss, but it's like my first time having sex. She's like, well, I could tell. I was like, how can you tell? She's like, well, you look like really shaky. Like, you seem real shaky. And I was, dude, and I was so nervous. She's like, what's the matter? I was like, I don't know. I'm just real nervous. It's my first time. I don't want to mess up. She's like, well, it's all right. This is actually only my second, but I know what to do. I was like, well, so do I. I wasn't stupid. I watched porn before. Come on. But I was like, you know what? All right. So I believed in her. She did. She did know what she was doing. But it wasn't embarrassing or anything like that. But my second time doing it, it was very embarrassing. I'll tell you guys about that too later, somewhere down the road. But yeah, like, she was just like, I don't know, like I didn't know what a freak was at the time, but she's definitely one. I was like, whoa, like I was so scared, like. You guys have no idea. Like, I was so scared to touch her. I didn't want to touch her in the wrong place or nothing like that. So I was, like, real nervous, and it wasn't bad or anything, It was awesome for it being my first time. But I asked, oh, man, sorry, guys. Sorry, I got allergy problems, so I might be sniffling a lot. And sorry for my other videos. I think I had, like, a video that went up yesterday. Or, well, today, but, like, this is tomorrow. Like, I'm uploading this the day, that I upload, what I want with my channel. I think it was today. But, this is, like, a different video. I'm uploading this as the same, not uploading, but I'm making this video the same day as that one. So, it's like, But, okay, but anyway, guys. I'm over here, and this, like, she was on, like, I was like, okay, this girl does know what she's doing, I was so honestly relieved that she knew what she was doing, because, like, I really didn't. I was drunk and everything, so it was kind of hard to tell what I was doing. But, like, for some reason, the moment when it came down to it, she was, like, all of a sudden sober. I'm like, what the hell? So I was real sketchy about that. I was like, whoa, wow, how come all of a sudden she's, like, all sober and all that? And so, first of all, I was drunk, so the whole time we were having sex, I'm sitting there thinking, how is she so sober and know what the hell she's doing right now? And then finally, like, we get going, and all of a sudden, I have a condom on, and this freaked me the fuck out, okay? Me being drunk, me being stupid, and me being a kid, the condom breaks. I was so scared. Like, I wasn't nutting or anything, though. But the condom broke, and I got so scared. And she kept going, but she was riding me too at the time, like riding. And I was like, how does this thing break when the girl's going up and riding me? And she didn't feel it, so I didn't even say anything. But we get going, and then so we move positions, and she saw I told her, oh, it broke. She's like, well, it doesn't matter, just take it off. And I was like, okay, so I did, me being the dumbass. And like, okay, so we get going again, and I'm like just about to nut, and I told her, and she keeps going. Like, we changed the position. She was still writing, but it was in a different position. And she's like going and going and going, and she was like, and then she all of a sudden just stops, and she bends over and she whispers in my ear. She goes, I don't care. I want you to be mine forever. I'm like, what? So me, I wasn't, I was actually having the time of my life. So then I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I really like this the way this girl does me. So I'm like, I don't even care. So I just kept letting her go and go, and finally it went, dude. And I nutted in her, and the next day, and then listen to this, okay? Then the cops come. The cops came, like, as I was nutting. So I'm like, there's no way I can just, like, there's no way. Like, I'm really about to go to jail right now because I'm not done, and I still need to put my clothes on. And I was still drunk at the time, and the cops come in. I hear people yelling downstairs, cops, cops. So I'm like, oh, crap, because I'm still back here in this room, having a good time. And the cops come. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? She's like, just hurry and put your clothes on, and we'll just say we was in here talking, okay? But I'm drunk. She's like, well, then, she didn't say, well, then it was you're on your own, but she was like, we'll try to act sober. And I just couldn't. The cops came in there, and I was slurring my words, and I was just screwed. And the cop knew what was happening because, we were, like, the bed was all a mess and all that. So the cop was like, well, you two in here doing something. And me being the dumbass was like, no, I'm not, officer. Slurring my words. Being drunk, I was like, ooh, I just got quick bolt. Yeah. But me being drunk as I was, I'm like, why? And I was just being drunk and stupid. And the cop was like, I'm asking you to blow for me. I'm like, nah. And then I thought, me being drunk, I was like, I'm not gonna blow your cock. And he goes, and she hits me, dude. And I was just being so drunk and stupid. And the cop to make me do a blow test, and he busted me. He was like, yeah, kid, I'm gonna arrest you. And then, like, my mom, she wasn't even mad. Like, she was, I don't know, like, she wasn't mad or anything. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom, She gets there and she's like, you know what, Ty, I know how you feel, You're in high school, you've been telling me you want to go experience some stuff. I'm not going to do anything. You're fine, just don't let this happen again. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I was sobered up. I was so sobered up. I was like, when they arrested me, I got so sober so quick. I was like, wow, it was amazing. But yeah, guys, this, moral of the story is, don't get drunk at a party and have sex with a girl, especially when it's real already late into the party. Cops are liable to show up, so the best time to do it is right when you get drunk and then go down to have some more fun. When the cops come, or just don't party at all. Be yourself, Don't try to act cool.